last year. Somehow he's found his way onto Cloud9.
Oh, baby.
To snipe down
Map
on
1.
Ribbon.
Cloud9 FaZe, I'm hyped.
Snipe down, but he's put together a great individual squad.
This is the first series I'm actually getting to like sit down and watch. You know, we got this tourney starting at noon Eastern time.
Want to start in the elimination bracket
tomorrow. Work all day.
Yeah, FaZe have to win this series to give themselves a chance of finishing in the top 2. Otherwise, they will be finishing 3rd in their group. And I don't think many people would have been expecting that.
Out of the loop the Hail for a long time.
And it is going to be streets.
Haven't been following too closely. I was watching the pregame, getting the lowdown on all the new roster changes.
I saw on social media, he said, I don't really know where I fit in this team, as 3 of his teammates have gone down.
Yeah, FaZe apparently has been struggling. I actually saw 4 of the games against Oxygen. They were down 2-0. I watched them tied up 2-2, and then I left for a workout before Game 5 started. I heard they lost the Game 5 Slayer. Based on the players on the team, you'd think they'd be a powerhouse, but apparently their scrim results since they formed haven't been great, and their performance here hasn't been great, but we'll see. I haven't seen any Cloud9's matches either, so we'll see if Cloud9 is still just as good with Bound instead of Renegade. I don't even know why Renegade left. Like, Cloud9 got first, second, and then he leaves.
Seeing this roster come together, I think that the
I'd love to know the story behind that. Apparently he talked about it on one of his streams, but I didn't catch the VOD.
Who is going to be doing certain jobs? I do think
if anyone knows in the comments, let me know.
This FaZe roster will get better and better.
I'll just pretend. I'll just like never know, I guess. I don't know.
Already very good, but Stellar still doing what Stellar has always done.
Yeah. 4 dead though for Cloud9, so even though Stellar wins the big one on the Renegade,
you got 3 down.
A phenomenal push from FaZe Clan is going to award them some ball time.
They're spawning not too far. I mean, I guess those two spawn C, but
into this game, they were down
Penguins
30
spawned
points, but
purple.
It's going to be an opportunity at a hold. We'll see how good the
not too long of a run for him.
Is capable of here. And now it's going to be a cafe push on the side of Cloud9. They
Renegade
have to pick
probably
on the
just
Renegade
felt like he's putting shots in everyone there.
The rotation for the ball is good from FaZe. You love to see that. It's almost a tied-up game as Rockets are coming up. FaZe doing a lot of things right so far.
One of the things we saw Cloud9 struggle with when this roster first
I've not been playing much of this lately, but I hate being bottom mid trying to get Rockets. I'm surprised he just was able to grab him. Usually, like, they'll just double peek you, get melted.
From getting into that, like, big old setup that gives them chunky points, they should still be able to do enough to constantly threaten them with the little easy peasy bits of ball time.
I've been so out of the loop, I didn't even realize that this North American Super was not the same as HCS Orlando. Like, I thought the Super was in Orlando in the LAN. I didn't realize it was an online tourney.
Superstar and Stellar is showing you exactly what Cloud9 are capable of, even without the likes of Renegade.
Where do FaZe go here off spawn?
I'm still so curious, like, who was arguing where they ended up splitting up, you know? Like, they were by far the most dominant team there.
Of what is happening across the map. As 2 are fallen, FaZe have to pause yet again, and this just means more and more ball time for Cloud9.
Yeah, and it's not often you see
Trouble in
Stellar with that
Paradise.
on hand, but everybody on Cloud9 probably going to be a little bit more universal of a play
Can't be worse than the fact that Sentinels tried to drop lethal for Renegade and then ended up
you're going to have to ask a lot more than
ended up not being able to get them, and then now they're just like, oh, actually, you know what? You're still our team lethal. I was listening to the Optic podcast. Maniac was saying, like, Lethal's so much of a weirdo, or he's just like, ah, whatever. Yeah, my 3 best friends tried to drop me. It's fine. So hopefully, they're still a solid team. That was not a very close game. It was literally 31-28, ends 128. So FaZe not looking too hot that round. Hopefully they can bounce back.
Absolutely, Cloud9 looking very dominant in the second half of that first round. Rocket control really never in the hands of Renegade, in the hands of FaZe. Something that Renegade was praised for on Cloud9 was his power weapon control. Well, that's continued in Cloud9's favor without him so far throughout this series at the very least. Cloud9
just putting so much damage down.
Here. They want revenge every time they see Renegade.
He didn't get a kill, but I mean, they cleaned up 2 of them.
Hypothetical stage here.
Opened up Eco the opportunity to run through middle and grab Rockets.
Something to them a little bit more than just a normal win against
ends
maybe
up
some of the
going
other
4 down.
higher caliber
Not all at the same
here.
time, but
Eco has found himself the rockets,
they
put the
ended up
first one to
dying.
use, the second one knocks the player to no shield.
So
the
I guess
rotation
Bound
to
gets the
PD
last laugh so far here.
From Cloud9, and we've seen this perfect setup from Cloud9 in the PD area. I mean, in the tram area, it's so lethal when Cloud9
I hope this is like a 5-game series. I don't know.
Sometimes I think we're well aware that this is
not
not
looking
the
good
team
for
that
FaZe right
necessarily
now.
Renegade assumed he would be on when he left his Cloud9 roster.
But you'd think like
you'd
hope a grudge match
now is on this roster.
would be a nice long like hard fall series. I'm hoping it's not like a quick 3-0.
You've now got to use this super as practice so that you can go into Orlando in the best position possible. Sure, it might not be, you know, rainbows and butterflies here in the first.
It's not always rainbows and butterflies. You got that Gaskin.
And if they can click, they do become very much terrifying. Penguin is able to rotate this ball and play it though. Fantastic movement there from Cloud9.
Yeah, even better job by Spartan to be ready for it, right? To be able to catch it, bring it back into PD.
Spartan's also been on the bench for a while. I mean, I guess he didn't technically miss any events, but he was missing scrims, right?
A setup do they have as far as being all on the same page? Where do
he
they
benched himself, what, like 2 months ago, maybe?
As Spartan forcing a kill with the ball, that's usually
Time's
a good sign for your setup
circle.
to maintain. As 3 go down for Cloud9, FaZe with the first
it was
realistic
after
setup here in the tram
Kansas
area.
City, which was the last land.
This is an opportunity for them to win round 2.
And I do think
he spent a long time not scrimming every day, I guess. So I guess even though he was considered one of the top players, he's probably a little out of form.
To create the space for your team, to do the objective work, to do the dirty work. Well, Spartan's got 41 points on the ball at the moment. Maybe that's the role he has to take.
Sparty's being Mr. OBJ.
Bound gets a double kill.
Falcated really impressed me since this game came out.
It's a rocket guy, more importantly, right? So those rockets that were in the hands of
hopefully,
FaZe are now in the hands of Cloud9.
I don't know. They got 4 like you'd think main slayers, people that should just be terrorizing the league. But there's just not enough kills for everyone sometimes, you know.
Broken. The ball's played by the middle. Falcated, he's going to be by himself.
But who knows? Maybe if they get more time to clean up their gameplay, they'll be all right. I'd love to see FaZe do well. Big Snipe Down fan. How can you not be, right? At least someone that's my age. 28.
You've got 4 players who have historically won the 1v1 so often, not just in Halo Infinite, but previous iterations of Halo as well. All you have to then do is put the pieces together and start to get the objective work at the same time. It could come together for this.
Sometimes I feel like the awareness of the pros is so much higher than me that like I can't even comprehend what they're doing. Like he's like running around bottom with the sniper. Well, like the red gun, whatever. Not technically a sniper, but
they take the lead, right? That's more important than anything. If they can hold off this,
like he knows what he's doing. I feel like I always end up running around with that thing and just getting shot in the side or the back. Just like what a waste of a life, waste of a power weapon. I'm useless.
Renegade does get a double elsewhere though, and that's going to create a great opening here for FaZe to push in and potentially get this ball back in their favor, but you're going in against a Bulldog.
He's got shoddy snipe here.
Plus Bulldog, he's in a huge position right now to deal some damage.
Yeah, Renegade goes down. It's numbers once again.
How does that happen? Like they had numbers, right? There's 2 dead.
He's going to be forced to play it. They're going to try and catch it. Not the best.
Bound has snipe shoddy, ends up like escaping out towards his team, putting some damage down. His team cleans it up.
The more issues start to pile up for the FaZe.
Like things were looking so good for FaZe, and then it just like falls apart right there.
Play from Bound as he relocates, drops the ball, decides to slave. Perfect shots from the Stalker rifle for the double. Allow Rockets to be denied more and more. Renegade tries to go for him as well. 3 members from FaZe go down at the hands of Bound with that Stalker rifle and a little bit of help from his friends. And because of it, in the meantime, the ball in the hands of Cloud9 continue to build their lead.
The real question is Cloud9 still just that good, swapping out their players, or is FaZe just that bad?
About 6 seconds out of it. FaZe still got
the rockets.
FaZe are now getting the ball time as well. It wasn't necessarily an amazing play that came out of Bound. Sure, he hit some good shots, but the rest of the team weren't able to capitalize on the shots.
This round's been a whole lot of nothing, I feel like, though. Like, it's tied up now, but it's been a lot of scrap. I don't feel like much has happened, you know?
We are tied up, and this is a far better round from this FaZe roster.
Absolutely, they get 3 kills as well. Last player alive is going down front the base. It was Penguin. And look at that.
3 dead though.
4 dead coming off respawn. Should be a nice 15 free seconds for
He got the 4th down as Bound spawned up. Spawned on the absolute opposite side of the map.
Apply some pressure to the respawners. Make sure this ball carrier is a little bit safer than he has been all game.
See, look, they're so far pushed up though.
Stays alive as well, which is
Like,
very important. 17
they were
kills
dealing
for
with 2
Renegade
people,
at the
but then
moment.
2
Ball
got
still
through
over
to
towards Tram,
deal with
and
C,
he
right?
quickly adjusts as Renegade from taking that fight initially 1v1 to then moving
I guess
around to the
Eco
rest
is
of
the
the
only
map so
one
he
that
can
went
help
in.
out teammates if they call for
Got to
it.
kill
Yeah,
though.
that ball carrier needed his help though, and Spartan, he goes down, Snipe Down goes down as well.
Like,
in
it
the
seemed
back
like
of
they
Tram.
pushed up so
Not
far
only that, but
that
the ball doesn't get played, and unfortunately,
like the positioning didn't
Renegade
make
kinda
sense
caught
to
out of
me.
that play as the rotations went through
Who am I, right?
the B stronghold downhill,
Just
and they
a,
ended up flanking the ball carrier, and now Cloud9 with
average
the setup
noob.
of their own, starting to chip away at this lead. It's not just down to 10 points, but more importantly, Dan, the Rockets, this set that's coming up, that just came up, whoever can achieve these can almost guarantee themselves the oddball with a
got
nice
2
setup,
dead,
and it is going to
3
be
dead.
bound once
I
again
guess
with
when
the
Spawn
Rockets
doesn't
in
kill
hand,
him,
taking down Snipe
Renegade's
Down,
dead.
taking down Renegade, and this is going to be
This isn't
Cloud9
looking
taking
good
the lead
for
again.
FaZe.
Cloud9 take the lead, and often Eco is the brain rather than brawn, but he's got 20 kills at the moment. He's the brain and the brawn, it would seem, at the moment for Cloud9. He is really
brain and the
performing
brawn.
at a level which maybe he
Pace the
needed
brain
to, just to
and
make
the
sure they
brawn.
win this round and don't allow FaZe back into this game. Foul now in a position to cross map and stop anyone from pushing. Spartan
That's
will
gotta be so
fall. It's a
frustrating,
killing
dude.
spree. It's 95 points, and FaZe unfortunately should
I guess
fall.
they were
Eco
feeling the
picks
pressure
up
trying to
one
get
more
in
for
there
the
before
road.
the game ended, but
Picks up the off ball, and
it's
that's
like
gonna
you need
do
to
it.
just
Game
turn
one
and
is gonna
shoot
be going
once,
to
right?
Cloud9 in fairly dominant fashion. It's a 2-0.
Well, second round was closer.
Cloud9
That's
making a
I
statement
guess
here. We hadn't seen
promising
them all day.
for
Wondered how they were playing. They've been
FaZe.
hiding in
But yeah,
streaks.
no,
Nobody's
that
streaking
first
it.
round wasn't
You
even
wondered how the
close.
new edition of Bound was looking.
Not
Well, it's
looking
good
great.
to me. It's a great opportunity to try and find
All
your
right,
footing.
let's see some life out of
Unfortunately,
FaZe here.
With the loss to Oxygen, FaZe is going to have built themselves such a
They're
deep hole for
deflated
this
after the
weekend
loss to
going
Oxygen.
into tomorrow, but it can all be reconciled with a little bit of
Get
momentum
it?
built here in the Slayer. They start off with a 2-1 lead. This is what they need now more than ever. Would be a nice Slayer win.
So
on
if FaZe
Yeah, a
is to
victory
win
in
a
this
map,
series and suddenly
you
everything
think it would be
we've
the
said about
Slayer,
FaZe,
right,
we've
with
said
4
just
main
gets blown out
Slayers?
of the window, and we're saying, okay, they've gelled,
Although
it's
Cloud9's
worked,
got tons
the
of
chemistry's
slaying
there, they've
power
taken
too,
down one of the best
obviously.
teams in the tournament,
Juggernaut.
but it's got to happen.
I want to say
right?
this one's
And
a
at the
coin
moment,
toss.
It's 5-3 in favor
Don't
of
quote me if they
Cloud9,
end up getting
and we know
stake
how good
dinnered.
Cloud9 are at Aquarius Slayer. Historically, they've always been able to get the camouflage, they've always been able to kind of work together, do the damage, and most importantly, finish off those one-shots.
Penguins sliding
They're just
around.
so aggressive. They know how to push their numbers, and usually it's been Renegade with these camouflages up in your face, up in your base.
The
This
pros
time
are
around, it's
so
gonna be
good at spotting
Penguin.
camo. Half the
Little bit of
time
love
it's
shared
like
across the board now that Renegade's maybe not picking up
almost
all the
useless.
power-ups, power weapons.
At least like at
Kinda spread
close to
across,
medium
so
range.
Life is good for
Far
a
range,
Cloud9 member as
obviously,
far
you
as
probably
maybe
don't see it.
individual's opportunity here. Penguin with some
Ooh,
great
don't
shots,
get double
but
teamed.
needs to stay alive. This camo kind of being negated, and more passive
camo's
play
gone.
here from Cloud9 with that camouflage.
Yeah, FaZe just kind of backing off and not allowing the
Oh,
camo to be put
that
to
looked like a
use, but
two-shot beat,
eventually
though.
Stella's able to pick up 2. Stella does
Never
this a
trust
lot,
this
by
game
the way,
online,
on
man. The
Aquarius
freaking
Slayer. He
connection in
sometimes
this
let
game
them-
is
yeah,
so
he literally just
terrible.
finds himself bottom middle, he responds to callouts, and it'll be 1 shots, 2 shots, and he just manages to be in the right place at the right time over and over on Aquarius Slayer.
It turns out he's pretty good at killing stuff. 6-1-1 right now to
Turns
kick this
out.
one off, and Stellar.
Yeah, Stellar's pretty
Talk
good.
about chips on his shoulder. You talk about the face of this
I did know
Cloud9
that.
roster. Now that Renegade's gone, you have to think
Ooh.
Stellar's got a lot of responsibility for this team. A lot of power up, power slaying presence on this roster. He's got to pick it up.
The early
Unfortunately,
game's
can't
so
get
weird
that
where
kill,
it's
but
like
with 7 to
14-8.
his name in the first
It's like
2
only a
minutes,
6-kill game,
Stellar's starting
but
to put on a show.
they
And if
also
they can
almost
build
have
a
double their
gap here
kills.
of, you know, 10+ kills,
Valkyrie's
you have to
getting
say that
hunted
it's
down
going to be
here.
near impossible for FaZe to get back into it with how
It's so hard to
structured
tell
and
with
how
Observer,
amazing
too, 'cause
Cloud9
it's, like,
have been
inaccurate.
historically on this map. It's an 8-kill difference at
It's like
the
that
moment.
looked like he
Already,
missed shot,
FaZe starting
and he
to
wasn't
fall
going to get the
behind
melee
here. They
kill,
are
but he did.
Perhaps just being caught out.
Earlier,
a
it
little bit
looked
too
like
slow to push
Penguin
off
had the
spawns at
2-shot
times.
melee,
Again,
didn't.
it's to be expected in a newer
Who can
team
say?
to formed with some
Shit
of these
just
players
disappears.
who have traditionally played a little bit slower, and maybe Cloud9 are looking to take advantage of that right now.
Yeah, you can see FaZe is stuck in the back of this base. They've done some great damage onto these players trying to push from Cloud9, but as kills
Ooh.
get traded back and forth, it's
That
gonna be
was
a
not
3
too
for
bad.
3
It was a
trade, and Cloud9's gonna
4-3
take that every
trade.
day of the week. They're going to be able to reset the
Like,
map.
FaZe
take
got
that
3 kills,
9-kill
Cloud9
lead.
got 4,
And
but
with
they were
that,
all stuck
they're
in the
just looking to
base. Like,
trade
they could
here
easily
on out.
collapsed.
From here
They
on
could have
out,
gone
here
way
in game
better
2,
for Cloud9,
a
so
great job by
that's
Penguin
good
to
out
stay
of FaZe.
alive there as he once
Down
again
9
just
kills, though,
wisely
not
gets a player
great.
to no shield, gets himself to no shield, but understands that, hey, with this lead, the worst thing I can do is give up a free death.
Renegade trying to do what he can with the melee onto Cloud.
Oh my god.
Here comes the rest of the team, and I tell you what, that's a better hold from FaZe. But
Much better.
half of
That
the
just
hold
was
of
one of
kills
those
is not where you wanna
situations
be
where it
as a
just feels
triple
like
kill for
there's
Falcated.
people everywhere.
Now you've got to use your presence. Now now you have to try and get some map.
It's the most frustrating feeling. It's like I put 2 shots into 3 people. We got no kills.
With the triple. One of the most underrated players in the scene has found himself on this
Renegade
FaZe
by
roster
himself
and
again.
knows that this could be one of the best opportunities Falcated has ever had in his career. But maybe things not working out early, does that rattle him? Does he understand that the Mamba mentality of working hard,
The Mamba
putting it in,
mentality.
and good things are
I thought he
coming
said
your
Mama
way
at
as long
first.
as you guys can figure it out from that point. Cloud9 continuing to have FaZe stuck in the back of these bases, though, and that worries me, Dan, because the map control has been in Cloud9's favor just about the entire
timing on that.
first half of this
That
game.
was so patient
You'd like
out
to
of
think that FaZe can
FaZe
look
right
at it
there.
that way, and they will have that mentality, especially when you
That's
look
some
at the
stuff
players
you
that
can
are
learn.
around them and what they've been able to achieve
Can
on
learn
their
from
previous
watching,
teams.
like how
But it's
patient he
very
was there.
easy
He
to
had
get
him one
disheartened
shot.
when you're beaten by teams that you're
Falcated
expected to
in
be
that
taken
doorway
down.
and just
But
like wasn't
7
gonna
kill the
push in
difference
and
in this Slayer.
get himself
Still
killed.
time for FaZe to get back into it. But what Cloud9 are doing very well here, Clutch, is they are trading the kills. And if FaZe allow these trades to consistently happen, they're never going to be catching up.
No, but Falcated is
Ooh,
doing his
don't
part
let him
here,
get
picking
the-
up a couple of unanswered kills on his life.
Thrust and the
Unfortunately, those
heat
dynamo
wave.
grenades, they weren't recycled
The shock nades are
by
still OP.
the FaZe members. Although Falcated was staying in the area trying to recycle them, it was Cloud9 that got to him, put him to work, and extended the lead back to 7.
Love that from Bound as well, knowing full well the timing of the dynamo grenades, nading the dynamo grenades.
Still
forward
very
so that you can
winnable.
pick up free damage, assuming that
They
someone
always
was
say
gonna be
Slayers
there,
don't
and
start till
lo
the
and behold,
30th
they
kill,
were,
right?
Because we know how powerful the dynamo grenades are and how much damage
So,
they can do when you get
I
hold of
guess this is the real match.
Still a 7-kill game now.
Or does that
FaZe
only
have
count
done
when FaZe hits
solid-
30?
Solid trades in some of these
Either way, not
disadvantageous
looking like a
positions,
steak.
but we haven't seen
That's
FaZe
a
on the
plus.
offense as of yet, and Stellar's going to be in
I want
their
to
closet.
see
I'm not quite sure they know he's here. They
at least
found
one
out.
map go to
He's
FaZe.
able to take down one before he gets removed, and with grenades coming through, it's more trades that are only going to favor Cloud9 with the 7-kill lead.
33 to 26, 7 kills the difference. FaZe still just about in it.
I still
Let's
really,
see what the
really
communication
hate
is
this
like on
observer
how they get back into
experience.
this game with an
Like,
absolute-
dude, just think about what's going on here. Like,
He's shocking us, Eric. He's about to
it's Cloud9 versus FaZe. Cloud9's blue, like their team colors are blue, but they're red in the observer mode. FaZe Clan, their team colors are red, but they're blue in observer mode. And then all of FaZe's skins are red, but they're the blue team, you know? But then Cloud9's
On me, P-door. On me.
skins are blue, but they're the red team. Like, it's so stupid.
They're probably gonna fly. That's it. He waves on me, guys.
Blue window weak.
I know, like, in the beginning,
I killed he
when this game first dropped, observers all tried to,
Stellar weak window.
they tried to make it where, like, they were your team colors, not just red versus
I
blue.
naded high hall.
But it was so hard to read, like, green, like, optics colors and stuff like that, so they just defaulted to red versus blue.
Yellow util.
Come here, come here.
Top middle.
But it's so stupid.
Yeah, I can
They should have just done red versus blue, or at least turned it on for, like, tournament
where the
play.
enemy team is not enough, like, soul
Instead of the
communication
whole,
between
like,
the boys
show everyone your
on the
skins.
FaZe roster, and that's not something you want to do.
just,
here.
like,
As you
makes
can
it
tell, the
clunky and
scores
confusing.
Pretty much reciprocating the communication we heard. Frustrating moments for FaZe, 46 to 31, Cloud9 in
Yeah.
favor now. 4
And while I
kills
went
to
on that
go.
rant, Cloud9
And
really
on the
pulled
side
away.
of FaZe, Dan, you gotta figure
was
out
what,
ways
30
to
to
have that small
23?
talk in order to have a little bit more success in these close quarter combats.
Yeah, maybe joining, listening at the worst time for FaZe anyway as players, because I think you heard the frustration. You
Yeah,
heard
this is
they were a
over.
little bit dejected and down because they started to let the game slip away from them. And it's hard not to be dejected and down when you kind of accept your fate. You
They
know
just
full well
slipped
Cloud9
away from
are
them.
most likely going to win this Slayer. You could hear Renegade saying, yeah, they're probably going to fly at us. He knows. Renegade's been on this team. He knows what this Cloud9 roster can do. And as soon as Cloud9 were given the opportunity,
That was
they
why
got
they were so
aggressive.
good in
They
Halo
took the lead
5,
by
right?
10
They
kills,
were
and
just
now
the
they are not looking
fastest
back.
4 players
Yeah,
around the
just
map.
2 kills to go, 12 on the side of
When it
FaZe,
was
and right
them,
now Cloud9 with
Renegade
map
and
control as
Shotzi.
well. They've had it all game. Why wouldn't
They were
in
just
the
by
game? A
far
nice
the
kill from Psych
fastest
down
people
ahead.
around the
Renegade
map.
picks up one, so could get
like, what are you
interesting
gonna
with
do?
a couple more rounds of slays. But Falcated caught out front
These
the
kills
base. You have to think that damage
pretty
is not
much
gonna let
all
him get away,
pointless.
but Swarty picks up another one.
They're
Psych
just
down,
throwing
Renegade
it away.
finds
It's only
one.
5
All of a
kills.
sudden,
If they win
48-43.
this, dude, I'm going crazy.
Never say never, but this predictive nade on the Falcated could be where it all goes wrong. Eco trying to fend off this
Come
push.
on.
The entire
Dude, I
FaZe
hope they
roster
win
comes
this.
through the door.
Come on.
They make it a 48-44 game.
49-44. Maybe the comms are getting a little bit better, but with that 49th, surely the 50th is just around the corner,
Damn.
which it is. And even though it was a great
Oh, that would have
fight
been
back in the
so
final moments
exciting.
for FaZe, it's still not enough to get
And
them
then
within
super
touching
choke
distance
out of
of that
Cloud9.
game, and it means Cloud9 go 2-0 up.
But
Also, shout out,
it just
they've all
ended
got
up being
Cloud9
pointless
skins. I did
kills.
notice some of the other
Didn't
teams
matter.
did not all have
The
the
teamwork's
skins.
not there. You got to start trying to use the
All right,
system
FaZe
in
up.
order to accomplish
Come on,
some of your
FaZe. Let's
goals,
see
but,
something.
I mean, if you're talking individuals. Sparty and Snipedown have had a fairly quiet series up until this point. I'm looking at those two to really step up statistically, start finding some one-on-ones.
It'd be really agitating for the first series I get to watch in full.
Down, and that's just
It'd just be a quick 3-0, and it's the last match of the night.
I do think it's Spartan and Snipedown.
I guess on to tomorrow.
I almost sounded Scottish.
Hopefully I'll be able to catch most of the matches.
The biggest adjustments to their playstyle to kind of fit around Falcate and Renegade, who are playing in a way and succeeding.
It's also goofy how the observers like on PC, so all the button prompts are like keyboard based.
Overshield and Heatwave and a sniper rifle. He's literally got everything you could possibly dream of.
Boom.
No scope connects with one, but eventually does go down.
Too many targets for him to try and focus on, although 3 go down.
Like, it seemed like he was in such a bad position.
He's no shield.
He ended up getting all 4 dead anyway.
Longer, find a kill before he gets taken down, but the push from Cloud9 is too strong, and this is where it gets difficult. Dan, you're going to be.
You can just tell like Cloud9's on the same page
you're going to give up
a lot more than FaZe is.
That's what Cloud9 were always good at on this game type, flipping that map, pressuring.
Like, it just seems like
pushing and taking control of a
nothing's
stronghold when they are required.
like
to.
everything Cloud9 does. They're kind of like opening up plays for each other. You know, they're super fast paced, and they're like up in your face. And FaZe just doesn't get a chance to breathe and like figure out what they're trying to do. You know.
Wins a massive 1v1, but as soon as they get control, Bound's going to give his team numbers advantage. For now, it's a 4-2 advantage as Sparty tries to make his way out a big door. Bound's going to try and knock him down. Gets him to no shield. This should be an easy kill for the rest of Cloud9 to try and pick up. They're going to be able to transfer B over. And with Overshield coming up in 10 seconds, the question is, will Cloud9 opt to keep B, or are they going to try and push for this Overshield and get a little greedy? And what Cloud9 did well there.
It's funny thinking back to like HCS Raleigh too, when EU knocked out FaZe and Spartan was screaming because apparently he was originally going to be teaming with Spartan and Boo Boo. I guess he was going to be on that team before Bound maybe, and then they ended up dropping him. So he was all angry. It's funny how like things like that happen, and then it's like, actually, whatever. Who cares?
They're going to be satisfied with the BC hold.
Anything's better than sitting on the bench, right, Sparty?
You can see Renegade.
Imagine being that good and just like, oh yeah, I can't play.
A snipe down top middle. This is a real opportunity at a FaZe push that
great
could be
flank at a
successful.
Stellar.
I don't think
That was
Cloud9 have
Bound.
the numbers to defend tower here.
That was a great
As I say
flank.
that, somehow Stellar gets into a position, finds a couple of kills, denies that push from ever being a reality of a success, and he puts the members of FaZe back on spawn once again.
I'll tell you what, Bound has been really impressive. When you consider the pressures that would be on him in this tournament, especially going up against your old team.
They just like locate the spawns. They had them all spawning out by Ovi, and they just funneled them together and just collapsed.
Beginning of the end already of this map. This is what Cloud9 do.
They're so organized.
Opponents into the ground when they have control.
You're starting to see.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. The core 3 have been playing together all year. They just have one swap out. You could argue that Bound and Renegade are similar players. They like
a championship level roster,
they're
and he is
like
starting to shine as bright as ever.
fast-paced slayers flying around in your face, no scopes, flashy plays. FaZe is like two players and then 2 new players.
He's given the biggest opportunity of his life. He's starting to pop off.
Sparty hasn't been playing.
I know full well Bound will be adding Renegade.
I don't know. I hope FaZe pulls it together, but it looks like they're getting whopped this series. Kind of a boring one.
I don't think Bound could have ever dreamed of getting a shot like this this soon in his career. I know that he had some amazing achievements previously, and we've already seen that potential. But as you say, to get onto a
Bound might get his first tourney win. I mean, I guess it's not a LAN, so it's like whatever. It's an online tourney.
Now on the board for FaZe, they are giving themselves the chance to
I keep thinking this is like a major because it's the Super
means that this is going to be very
North American Super.
Sparty wants to hit the repulsor onto him off the map, but couldn't quite get the angle because of it. Stellar makes his life difficult. Eventually, that overshield does get taken care of, so Sparty does a good job to just buy some time, make himself a nuisance there back tower. But in the meantime, Dan, I mean, if you take a look at the score, although it was momentarily in control of FaZe, it's 174-42. It's starting to get ugly. It's a 130-point lead.
ANC in control, and this is the pinch tactic that I was talking about a little bit earlier. They are going to now force FaZe to go one of 2 ways. FaZe are looking like they're going to prioritize C.
I would love to see them implement a mini map.
Do we take that fight? Yes, they do.
It would be nice to have. I mean, I guess the screen's already kind of full. There's a lot going on, but you just have like an overhead view where everyone's at, like in Call of Duty.
Just pressured FaZe are off their spawn. You can't even get out of green if you're Spartan and the trip cap.
Just seeing where people are spawning and all.
Cloud9 like to push it. Sporty's able to do a lot of damage. He's able to find a kill, but it's
kind of hard to follow sometimes when like it just keeps switching to people that are getting they get switched to them, they die.
With a CB hold, they're
Switch
going
to
to be
them.
very satisfied with the situation.
Damn, last alive.
Get behind enemy lines there to find a kill.
Would have been huge if he could have stopped that cat.
To transfer a stronghold over.
Gets behind enemy lines, but elsewhere strongholds are being
They have
taken,
3.
and then he eventually goes down. And that was all
Spartan's
he
gonna
could
get
do, unfortunately, because
absolutely
Snipedown was the
collapsed
last
on
remaining
there.
player. A and C has been flipped in favor of
He
FaZe,
got one, that's
but
huge.
because they have sent numbers to both
No one's in
strongholds,
position
they are
to
going
stop the
be
A,
weak, depending on where
so they're gonna
Cloud9
end up with
push
2
here.
anyway.
Cloud9 take A, and Cloud9 are still scoring. They are
They
50 points
spawned
away
at
from
B,
taking this
like-
series.
Yeah, at what point are we going to start talking about the conversation about what does Bound bring to this Cloud9 roster that maybe Renegade didn't? Because right now, Cloud9 looking
I don't think that's a
extremely
fair
strong. It's going to be a long weekend for them.
comparison.
But as they go up against the Optic Gamings of the world, as they go up against the Sentinels of the world,
I am definitely
if they
excited
have
to
this same
see
level of
how they
success,
play
we
against
could
like
be
the
talking about a new
tougher
dynasty.
teams.
Here's a better question.
FaZe
What
is
does
clearly
Bound bring to this
underperforming.
roster, right? Everything we've seen since Pro Series, when Bound was first introduced, first trialed, he has been everything but like he's been incredible. He has really stood out, and you've got to have a roster sometimes to allow you to play in that way, and he
Absolutely.
really has fit in such an amazing position that does mean this roster suddenly becomes championship winning potential
Got a
once
couple
more.
kills.
Still time for FaZe to get back into it, but
Ooh,
at this point it's looking very
unfortunate.
unlikely.
I hate when people spawn back
223 to
mode while you're
55,
right
and
there.
although
They'll
FaZe have
literally
momentary
spawn someone
control
there
of A and
while
B,
you're
they're
looking
gonna need
at
some
them.
slays along with it if they want to even
So yep, great spot.
a minor comeback here. And
He literally spawned
you can
as
see
he got up
Bounty's
there
deciding
and
to go all the way
like
around.
turned
He's gonna
as he
hop
came
into
out.
A, and this is not a predicted push. Snipedown gets
So
shot in the
annoying.
back, and with that, look at how quickly Bound is able to get into a stronghold, apply pressure to multiple other members of FaZe. 3 down for FaZe, and if
3
Falcated
down
can't stay
again.
alive
This
and make
is
a
a
superstar
disaster.
play, you're going to be looking at a 3-0 for Cloud9.
No superstar play happening, but Bound will get aggressive, make sure he secures that kill, and gets another one onto Snipedown.
It's just too easy.
Continues to score the Cloud9, and as we said, I think this was inevitable at this point. A victory parade starts to begin for Cloud9 because they are only 10 points out.
The pull play
We're getting a
parade,
victory
it's
lap
famous
in at
play
this
from
rate.
Dan Gaskin himself.
100-point club?
It's a 3-0
What's up?
with 8 more points on the board.
I don't know.
Cloud9. You know they want to end this one. They probably have reservations at Chili's. It's just a Friday night, but
What's
you know,
up?
Penguin loves his
What up?
Chili's.
I've never been, but maybe one day
Probably.
I'll get to join someone.
I got,
maybe they'll take me. But 249 ticks over to 250.
Did I run
and
twice
it is
today?
a 3-0 for Cloud9 in
No.
pool play. I've said that before, and I'm saying it again.